Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Vintage Chill and Chat. Um, there's a couple things that I take and notice. Before I mention that, let me make sure I'm going to switch my mic. Okay, hopefully that's much clearer. A couple things I noticed. Whenever I watch my intro or whenever I watch the intro coming into the episode, one thing I noticed is that the slow motion of the video um, focuses a lot on a table, and I'm always like trying to think whose table did I end up using as for that portion of the video of the intro, and it's Stan's table because I noticed towards the very end of the slow motion part of the intro, the E93 Mathewson makes an appearance, and there it is. Now it's in my PC. It's just funny because I was kind of looking around, and all of a sudden there it was. So that's the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed is that I must be coming on upon a year of doing these chill and chats. I haven't gone back to my log to see where things are at, but I think we're definitely at a year because some of the footage, like the fast-paced motion videos that are part of the intro, part of it's the Philly card show, but the other part is Hofstra University. And Hofstra does a lot of the Long Island shows, and that particular footage shows what's called the Long Island National, and they do this right after Strongsville concludes, maybe a few weeks after. And I forgot about that. I forgot that the Long Island National happens right after. I kind of figured that we were kind of between giant shows until the National, but the Lucky's is since Lucky's has taken over Jim Ryan's the shows. They're kind of keeping with the momentum and sticking with the Long Island National, which it's a great show. It's they use the gymnasium instead of the student center, which they typically use for their monthly ordeals. So that's going to be great. That's going to be next week, and it's again, I think it's like, I don't know, 300 table, maybe 400 table show, but it's always fun just to go to. I plan on trying to go there on Sunday. Saturday, I'm going to be going to the Stormville Flea Market. They're opening up the first time this or next weekend. And so I have some announcements I'm going to make regarding reasons why I'm doing flea markets again. I'll talk a little bit about it. So one thing is, if you haven't noticed, I have the cover of my display case kind of opened up because I realized that I didn't share a card that I picked up after I picked it up at Strongsville, but I didn't showcase it on any of my videos yet. And this one was a pickup that I made through Mike Petty, or hobby, or one of our hobby favorites. And I knew he was going to have this. And I know he sold a bunch of cards to a lot of the collectors in the hobby, and really making some really, really generous deals. So I appreciate it again, Mike. But I picked this up from him. This is off the Bazooka box. Tips from the tops, and tips from the tops on the plane. The outfield. This is on the box. You don't generally see a whole lot of these individually graded. Usually, we'll see the panel. You'll see the box entirely graded. You'll see this little strip cards graded, but these don't get graded too much. You don't see them. So I don't know how fair it is to call it rare, but in the grand scheme of Maze stuff, if you buy the box, you'll probably see it. But to see this stripped out in this condition, in this shape, it's pretty cool. So this came right from the box, came right from Petty's collection, and I bought this at the trade night when I was there. So obviously, because being one of the 4 collectors, that's part of definitely a requirement. So let me see who's in the chat, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about just everything. Let's see. Brian is here. Gave the video a like. Thank you, Brian. Stephen with the PH is here. What's up, Stephen? Jay Hawker. Good evening, Sammy and friends. Dave Peacemaker Cards. Good to have you here. Mike Junkwax Hero. What's up, buddy? It's fun. Great to see you here, man. Phil Negro Fan is here. Litzy Sports Cards. I'm all right. So let me just stop and say this: I'm terrible with names. So unless I've gotten to know you over a period of time, my brain doesn't really connect the names as well. So forgive me if I don't recall your name. If you want to share it in the chat, I will do my damnedest to really kind of keep it stored. So just if you don't mind, if you want to share, you can. If not, that's okay too. But I'm sorry if I refer to you by your channel name. Please don't take it the wrong way. I just have a terrible memory with names. I remember faces a lot better than I do names. I think a lot of people end up kind of feeling that way as well, or having that same thing. James Wynn is here. Ruben is here. Jake T. O'Donnell is here. Lenny is here. Munson Trout Collector. Orlando. Dan is here. What's up, Steel City D Dubs? Mookie Chilson. So full of eggs right now. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. Happy Easter, everybody, by the way. I should have mentioned that. Happy Easter. Happy holidays. Let's see. Jeremy Heyman is here. You should send that E93. Yeah, I plan on doing that. That's definitely on the agenda. Keith is here. Lonely Basement Baseball Cards. Just catching up. Ryan McClanahan. Happy Easter, everybody. Carlisle is here. Happy Easter. Tony is here. Happy Easter. Thank you, Orlando. I appreciate that, Steven. Father Son Vintage Cards and Comics. Let's see. Mike, the Sports History Collector. How you doing, Mike? Good to have you here. Doug Joe Wood Collector. Doug, good to see you again, buddy. I'm hoping you're going to go after one of those Boston Garters. Mike Good is here. What's up, Mike? Good to have you here, buddy. What's your thought on old labels, new labels? Yes. So we'll start with that since I'm all caught up at the chat. So I'll keep Jeremy's comment up. My thoughts on old labels, new labels. Obviously, I like the new labels a lot more. But I'm not in any rush to get new labels, especially if they're in my collection. It's not a make or break for me, especially, if I'm buying it, to me, the old label, I know, everybody kind of harps on, if it's an older label, they weren't harsh on grading, those cards like they are now, and that whole discussion. And, I take that into account, but it's for me, especially when you start kind of looking, I'll bring this back out again, especially when you start kind of looking at, older cards like this. I really don't even look at the old label that much. I kind of just focus exclusively on the card. And, when I looked at this Mathewson, I thought the centering was great. The, on his corners, as this is a very old card. So I kind of just don't even really factor in the old label or the grade for that matter. Really, it just comes down to the card at the end of the day. And but yeah, as far as getting it relabeled eventually, just for presentation purposes, it's not right now on the high on the list. There's some things I want to grade first, but yeah, eventually I'll definitely get this reholdered. I did the same thing with the E90-1 Mathewson, the American Caramel. This one had an old label in it as well. This one came from I bought this from Ash. I don't know, about a year and a half ago, maybe. Actually, no, I'm sorry, less than a year and a half. Going on a year. So, but yeah, there you have it. Let's see. Rick is here. What's up, Rick? Good to have you here, buddy. RJ and Jake. Yes. What's funny, RJ, is that the comics part is new because I remember Father and Son vintage cards, but the comics I don't remember. So it kind of threw me for a loop. Jeremy's saying, me personally, stay away from old labels that are overgraded. I don't know. I mean, it depends on it depends on the card. I guess if you're talking about a card from the 50s, I mean, I guess you can factor it in more so than some of the older cards, because I don't know. To me, when it comes to pre-war cards like that Mathewson, the old holder doesn't really factor in as much. And that's just my opinion. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it, man. So if I was buying one of the PSA 10 52 minutes, I should expect a discount with the old label. I don't think so. Yeah, see, I don't know. I guess that's that is the exception. And Mike seemed like he appreciated that. So. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. We're going to be, you guys know how this works. I'm the, I kind of lead everybody else in. So, Alex will be here, well, not here, but he'll be on his channel at 8 o'clock for Card Room Live. And then my fellow for collector, Dan, is going to be doing his From the Dan Stand video at 9 o'clock. And so, really a great Easter lineup for everybody. So as far as I'll just kind of run the course here. I'll just mention, because this is the first live stream I've done since Strongsville, and I'll just keep it light, keep it simple, because I mean, I'm sure everybody's been beaten to death about Strongsville videos. I'll just kind of mention that the trade night was an absolute success. John and Theo were kind of like the hosts at the front door, and the idea of putting the business cards in the packs and handing them out as kind of like almost like party favors, or party bags, whatever you want to call them, party bags, gift bags. I thought it was a nice touch, and I think people got a lot out of it. I thought we weren't going to have enough pizza, but thank God we did, and we had plenty left over, which is awesome. And, as far as word of mouth, I mean, it spread, man. It definitely spread. We had all of our tables filled up probably like a half hour in. And, it was great. I mean, there were people that I did not know they were going to be coming and setting up. And it was great to see some new faces. It was also, I mean, it was great to see a lot of the dealers coming and supporting as well. So, Stan and Ash and Bill Chappell and JD, and there was just a whole string of dealers coming by and checking out and supporting, and a lot of buying, a lot of trading. So really, it was just a huge success. I know, Steve with the PH got a huge Jackie card there, and Tony got a big Mathewson card. You guys saw I got my Maze card, and yeah, a lot of things were definitely a lot of moving, a lot of things moving around. So it was great. I mean, I wasn't expecting to really move anything or sell anything. I mean, I brought a display case and some stuff, but I mean, I was surprised that I was able to move stuff as well. So it was really a benefit for everybody. I know pretty much all the tables did really well from what I've gathered, or at least majority of them did. So that was pretty amazing. Let me check the chat again, because I kind of stepped away from everybody. Dave says he's getting back in the hobby after 30 years. Opinions on ASG grading? I don't know what ASG grading is, if that's a grading company or if that's like an acronym for something. Maybe someone can fill me in. Can't get enough Strongsville talk, to be honest. Oh, all right, Ruben. I appreciate that, man. Just I don't want to beat a dead horse. That's the only thing. I enjoy Strongsville videos. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, it's I mean, everyone's kind of having a little bit missing the experiences, missing the stories. So, what is the Strongsville of which you speak? It is a magic event where magic people get together and play Magic the Gathering. Beat Up Cards, what's up, buddy? Good to have you here. Tony, yeah, the trade night was amazing. I mean, it was exceptional, exceeded expectations. We had a lot of fun. And the door prizes were great too. The Mark Price signed jersey, and then the Dennis Rodman autograph. I mean, just incredible pieces. Great job by you guys, Sammy. I picked up a beauty from that night. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to make a connection with that card for you, buddy. I mean, not that we did it, but by proxy, we were able to establish that. Thank you for your hard work. I appreciate it, Tony. Yeah, I mean, my contribution mostly was putting the packs together for about 2 or 3 of the wax boxes. My also the commercial that I did, pretending that I was, oh God, what's his name? Was it Donnie West? I think his name is, or Don. I can't remember his name. The guy who goes crazy in the infomercials about Fleer 1990 wax boxes or whatever. So yeah, there you go. That was my contribution. Some of the videos, but mostly, at the helm was really Theo and John. They were kind of like Theo was the organizer, talking with the vendors, talking with the sponsors. I got SGC on board, so there was that. But SGC was extremely hands off in the whole process. Which is fine. We appreciate their donation and appreciate them sponsoring the event, even just an indirect sponsor, I guess you could say. But they were as much involved, and Howard and Andy from Love of the Game. So it was really a special night, man. It was really awesome. Yeah, that sounds good, Mike. And we missed having you there, man. Captain Midlife moved major product and trade night. A lot of autographs were signed. Leighton Shelton threw down the challenge last night in Jeremy Lee's show for a vintage night at the National. I didn't realize. Because it's been a busy weekend of non-card stuff, although today was a card day. Mike Junkworks here. Are you allowed to stay past 8:30 for the extra? I would think so, but I don't know my schedule. I don't know how he orchestrates these days. Melissa, hello everyone. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too. Awfully late. Let's see. Okay. 80% were back in the rooms by 11. Yeah, that includes me. Jeremy, what happened to the pickups of the week videos? I missed them. Jeremy, it's a lot of, right now it's just a lot of work to kind of orchestrate them and put them together. Eventually I will get back to doing it perhaps, but it takes a lot of effort and time, which I just don't have a lot of these days. James Gillum, amazing time, great weekend. Yeah, it was really great, man. It was great, and just an overall great experience. I can't stress that enough. I sold enough on trade night to buy the Vanny mantle on Sunday. Yeah, that was great, man. You bought that from oh God, Tim Payne. Yeah, that was great. He had like two or three of them, which was awesome. 11 p.m. I'm deep into my sleep. Jayhawk is asking, what were a few of your favorite pickups that others made? That's a great question. I love the Ty Cobb that Orlando got. I was a big fan of the Propagandas Montiel that Darren got, the Joe DiMaggio. One of the reasons is because I was right there when it happened. Also, I was there for Orlando's. The Mathewson portrait that Greg got was really awesome. And, it might just be because I'm a Matty guy, but that was pretty amazing. I don't know if I was around for a lot of Stevens pickups, but I know he picked up some epic stuff from Howard and, just incredible pickups overall. And obviously, the last thing that I saw was Mookie's pickup of the Satchel Paige. That was pretty epic. That was pretty epic. And, a heartfelt pickup for me, for somebody else, was seeing Don Field of Dreams pick up his Star decal Type 2. That was pretty awesome. So I was happy to help him with that in some, in a way. Mookie's saying he had such a freaking blasted trade night. Setting up between Darren and Greg and Scott was so much fun. Yeah, that was you guys had a lot of action going, and Petty being there with you guys too. I hadn't noticed had anyone done it. Yeah, plenty of them around. We'll 100% be at Strongsville next year unless some other relative comes out of the woodwork to get married that weekend. Cross fingers. No, weddings are supposed to be in the fall and like the late summer. Tell them to get married at Strongsville. Oh my God, have it at the Best Western. We should pass the hat to fix hotel elevators at next trade night. Man, you know what? I'll be honest with you. The stairs were perfectly fine for me. I was happy to take the stairs. What is it, like 2 out of the 3 elevators were broken, and then the one that did work barely functioned. Let's see. Orlando copycat. I picked up the Vinny mantle. Yeah, man. Yeah, Mookie won the prize. Definitely got. That was like a 7 with a pinhole, essentially. 7 with a pinhole. But all right, guys. So I thought I'd mention to you guys that I'm setting a goal for myself, because I'm just doing it for the fun of it. I'm doing this for fun, but obviously there's an end goal here for me. There's an experiment with the goal attributed to it. You guys know how much I love setting up at card shows. I love being in the card show environment, whether I'm a buyer or whether I'm a seller or whether I'm set up. Now, the idea of setting up, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. You have to wake up at the crack of dawn to get everything organized and ready to go. My buddy Lenny from Cardcast does a great video explaining this whole entire rundown of what it's like to be a dealer. Now, for Lenny's case, Lenny's a full-time dealer. This is what he does. He does this for a living. So, his explanation on things, I mean, hats off to Lenny for putting in the hours, the effort. I mean, not only are you, packing everything in to get to the show, set up, break down, but there are things during the week that you also have to consider as well. You have to start pricing cards. So you're spending hours on maybe thousands of cards, perhaps going through things. And I mean, again, these are the things of a dealer that, we tend to overlook, is the amount of effort and time it takes to process inventories that you receive week in and week out. And and then especially when it comes to Lenny, I mean, Lenny's got some great stuff. He's got bargain boxes of vintage and modern and so much great stuff there. So all suffice to say, to kind of go back to what I was saying, is that I am going to be getting back into setting up as a dealer again. It's a slow and steady process, but I'm setting a cutoff, a boundary of how much I want to spend, because I have to replenish. My inventory has been very light, and it needs a lot of work to replenish in order for it to make sense to set up at a show. So ultimately, I'm setting my goal to set up for the first time in a long time at the Brooklyn Card Show in June. It gives me a good amount of time to kind of get things ready to, start attending card shows with the purpose of buying for an inventory, and really just kind of focusing in on that and making sure that I kind of keep to the budget that I set for this experiment. And so today I did go to the Elephant Trunk flea market in Connecticut, and then I went to one of my favorite shops, Mike's shop, Village Baseball Cards, and I made pickups at both with the intention of setting up as a dealer again. So I'll show you some of the pieces. Right now I have a stack of cards here that are going to be set for inventory, and so I'll go through what some of these pickups are. Let me make sure that these are. I'll just kind of go through so I have a lot of 56 tops. So I'll kind of go through these. Some commons like here's Dick Groat, Joe Torre's brother Frank. Here's Ray Boone. These are pretty good too, as far as like centering goes. It was these all came from Village Baseball Cards, by the way, and I think I got some really nice deals on them. Here's a Stu Miller, and a lot of team cards. I got the Pittsburgh, the Pirates card, Clemente, and here's the back. I think this might be the white back. Here's Jim Pearsall. So a lot of commons, but I did get a few star players as well. Roger Craig. Here's Chicago Cubs team card. The Boston Red Sox. The St. Louis Cardinals. And some Brooklyn Dodgers, Don Zimmer. Got Vernon Law. So a lot of 56 tops were included in this package that I got today. A few more. Vic Power. Bobby Shantz. And then here's some of the kind of the star cards that I got. Or I think a lot of the rest of them are star cards. So here's like a post 1962 post serial of Willie Mays. This one, a really nice looking 73 Johnny Bench, really sharp. High number 66, Billy Williams. Second year, Harmon Killebrew. A little rough shape, but really nice looking 73, Roberto Clemente. And let's see what else here. Nice looking 73 Killebrew. Nolan Ryan. Nice 72 Clemente. Here's a 56 Spawn, the white back. And finally, a Tony Oliva rookie card. And Crane Pull if you're Mookie. So anyway, that's kind of a start to replenish the inventory. And, I have some more stuff as well, but it is a start. And next week, next Saturday will be the Stormville flea market. They're opening up for the first time since last year. So I expect there to be quite a bit, good chunk of inventory there, maybe perhaps to purchase into. The other thing I forgot to grab, let me see if I can grab it real fast. I also purchased this too. Let's see. Also picked up another 1969 Mets yearbook at the Elephant's Trunk. It's a special edition, or not a special edition, but special year, obviously, because they won the championship that year. It's got Seaver's face on it, so pretty awesome. But yeah, so that's some of the big news, is that I am working towards the goal of setting up at the Brooklyn Card Show with hopefully a healthy enough inventory at that point. And the end goal, obviously, is to kind of generate some funds for the National. But I just, really part of it for me is wanting to set up and enjoy the atmosphere and meet collectors that way. And I don't know if I'll be doing it at the same frequency that I once did, like doing it every single weekend, but certainly maybe, I don't know, once a month maybe. We'll see how the Brooklyn show goes, and it would be great because I know Dan is setting up. He'll be setting up there, as well as Brian Roth will likely be setting up. So it'd be good to see those guys as well. But anyway, that's sort of the other news I wanted to share, is that I'll be kind of going back to start setting up again. And Dan's mentioning right now he's got 3 upcoming shows that he'll be setting up at the Mount Kisco show, which I'll definitely attend that one. And Staten Island, which I don't know. I guess I don't recall them setting up at a show in the past, so maybe it's the first one. And then, of course, the Brooklyn show that we were just discussing. It's nice pickup. Sammy Stormville's fun. You got to set up at Garfield eventually. Eventually, maybe. I don't know. The inventory I need for Garfield, it needs to be very strong. It needs to be a very strong inventory. I don't have a strong enough one right now. Just because the competition is, the competition there is very, very, it's not, I mean, you're going to have like, was it Harry, both Harrys there. So I prefer just to kind of streamline as much as I can to just kind of focus on particular shows right now. Some info. Cool. I usually will find a lot of that stuff on the Sports Collectors Daily website. They have a whole calendar and a whole list, and that shares all the details. Anyone going to the Pittsburgh 700 card show in 2 weeks? I heard about this. Yeah, I heard about this show, and I've actually heard mixed reviews on it from some of the dealers, but definitely keep us posted as far as how that show goes. I'm curious. So it looks like Ruben's going to be there. So Cavaliers are done messing around with their food. Anyone else watching? We definitely will start watching soon. So, but yeah, guys, that's the plan right now. Put a little bit of the spending cash that I have towards building a budget, and hopefully have some stuff to show for it at the Brooklyn show when it comes up. So definitely something to look forward to. As far as national news, I mean, we're so far away from that; it's not really on the radar yet. But Hobbypalooza definitely is. So Hobbypalooza is right around the corner. We're in the works. We're in the planning stages for that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, last year's was really just back to having live streams back to back to back to back to back was a lot of fun and very entertaining. And so we're looking forward to bringing that back for a second year, or the second year under the For Collectors channel. I will definitely be involved in that. I think I'll probably be doing a show, and I think, but there's going to be a lot of shows for sure. So a lot of things planned for that. Dan was going back. Let's see what he said here. Maybe in the future you'll sell me T206 520 Sammy. Maybe, perhaps. Good to have you here, Chris. Chris, by the way, I have not forgotten. I will have your Transagram Willie Mays at the National. We'll have to link up somehow. I'm sure we will. I'm sure more things will come out of the woodworks for that in the months to come. Dan was saying that Brooklyn show is really has some momentum. Should be packed in June. Yeah. So I mean, I set up at the Brooklyn show, I think at their first or second show that they did, and I will say this much, that they are vintage. The people they bring in for that show for vintage, it's a rabid audience in a good way. Rabid meaning the very strong and healthy audience of people coming in to the show, and big vintage community out there. So that's awesome. So everyone seems to be talking basketball right now. Mike is rooting for the Heat, but it's not going to be easy for them. Yeah. I'm sure you're rooting for the Celtics, as am I, rooting for the Celtics. So, yeah, man, really good stuff. They suck without Jimmy Butler. Yeah, they screwed the pooch on that one altogether. Looking forward to it. Yeah, man. Got it right here in my case of goodies, man. So, I know you're rooting for the Celtics. I knew that. How can you be from Maine and not root for the Celtics? Go C's, absolutely. Rooting for the Heat to weaken the Cavs. Yeah, that's what you hope. David says, on 3D 80s Kid latest video, he mentioned possibly starting the beginning stages of a vintage trade night at the National. Give us the dirt. I don't have any dirt, unfortunately, to give, so I'm sorry, David. I can't speak on that. Memphis and Nashville have sort of few. They don't support us, and we don't support them. Phooey's Celtics, go Nuggets. Oh, man. We'll see what happens, man. The NBA playoffs, you never know what happens. Everything starts over. Playoffs in general, that's just how it is. Everything starts over. So, what else is there? Let me think what else there is to discuss. I keep forgetting I need to give Mike Petty the wrench access. It just went over my head. So Petty, if you watch this, I'll make sure you get wrench access soon. I'll show you a cool looking card that I've had this for a while, but this is a cool looking piece that was in a pack. It was kind of like let me see if I can do this gracefully. This is in like a photo pack, and it's a really great shot of Seaver. I think they use this on the 68. What is it? The Topps, like a test issue. But it's like it's a reverse. But this is a photo pack from 1970, I think it is. And it's one of my favorite shots of Tom Seaver here is him going through the motions here, just showing his mechanics. It's a really cool piece. I saw one floating on eBay that was autographed, but I don't know if it was legit or not. It was going for like $750. on eBay. I don't know if it's still for sale or not, but I guess we'll see. So I saw that somebody posted that. Did you buy that off of Facebook, Dan? I saw somebody, or no, it wasn't a Hostess. Maybe it was a Hostess. I forgot. Somebody sent me this in a text message. I think it must be the same thing. Let me see if I can go back and find that message. I'm not going to find it now. But yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I thought I saw that. It was the whole box. It was flattened. That's pretty cool. Cards of Dogtown. Have you seen anything in the current REA that has caught your eye? Me personally, nothing really like as far as because Mathewson stuff is what I try to find off of there, and nothing really caught my eye with Mathewson stuff. I mean, there obviously the Bryce Williams would be a dream to have that card, but I mean, let's face it, that's it's a really expensive card. It's like a 5 or 6 figure card, so it's just not going to happen for me. Carlisle, still bitter that the Mets stole Seaver from the Braves, even though I hadn't been born yet. Did the Mets technically steal, or did Seaver just go back to, decided to go to USC? Because I think that's what happened, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll see you later, Mike. Glad you were able to stop by, my friend. Could you explain the difference between the U.S. and Canadian hostesses? I'll leave that to Dan. Maybe he'll do that on the For Collectors tonight. He'll explain the difference between the U.S. and Canadian hostesses, or maybe Stephen with the PH could do that justice. Oh, there you go. Dan simplified it. We didn't even have to do it in the chat. U.S. is ding dongs, and Canadian is king dongs. There you go. Oh man. So, yeah, man. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? I don't know. I don't know what else there is to share right now. Yeah. So I guess I'll share this. Next Saturday, Stormville Flea Market. Love the flea markets. So I'm going to check that out. Maybe I can buy more inventory. And then Sunday, I plan on going to Long Island National at Hofstra. So is anybody else going to go to the Long Island National for those that are in New York to the Hofstra show? I know Brian is setting up. He'll be there. But just curious if anyone else here in the chat, the 50 people that are watching right now, if you guys are going to be there, let me know. Let me see. Oh, Carlo said that he played a harmless exhibition game with his USC teammates and everybody lost their minds. And the Braves ruined my childhood. So Dan's going to be there on Saturday. Okay, cool, man. That's cool. Nerding Out with Cards. Good evening, man. Good to have you here. Nerding Out with Cards. And just checking out anybody else. So Steven's on most cards, the difference is the Canadian issue usually has French on it. Yeah, that's pretty clear cut and dry. No, it's sad. All right, guys. So I mean, I'm kind of out of talking points. Kind of delivered all the messages I wanted to make out here. So no, the Mangini's here. The Pirates ruined my adulthood. So it seems like a lot of teams have ruined a lot of people. The Mets for me, so I completely understand. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end it short here tonight. I know, again, 8 o'clock. You're going to have Alex with the Card Room Live, and I think it's like the anniversary of his show. So that's pretty awesome, and it sounds like he's going to have some long time support tonight from some other channels, and should be a lot of fun. And then at 9 o'clock, of course, Dan, my fellow For Collector, will be doing from the grandstand, which I think he's doing some SGC card reveals. So that should be a lot of fun as well. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Appreciate the start to this fun weekend. Happy Easter, everybody. And I will probably, see you guys next week. So have a great night, everybody. Take care.